Well, this is the 2 Cents Podcast, and I'm your host, Nino. First of all, always thank the man upstairs for blessing me to wake up and get out on the pursuit of another day. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, man upstairs. Thank you to the Most High. Please, people, continue to send them subscriptions. Subscribe. I appreciate you. I thank you very, very much. I'm going to send some shout-outs. Shout out to my partner, my guy, David Parker on the USA Podcast. That guy's doing big things over there. Please, please, tune in and watch his channels. I mean, he is so diverse and have so many things and so much great content. Please check out David Parker, USA Podcast. What up, Big Marlon? What up, Norris? What up, Big Herb? Marco? What up, Freebie? Don Werfel? Donald Freeman. What up, Hump? Again, condolences about Avery Don. What up, Ross Strickland? What up, Big Dre? What it do? What up to my man Curtis with his podcast? I'm hoping you still doing your thing. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? What up, Big Bruce Simmons out of Saginaw, Michigan? Big Luther out of Chicago. What it do? What it do? What's going on with you? Hope y'all doing good. What up to my man? What up to my man, as I said, Marlon, if I forgot, what up to Marlon? Again, what's going on? What's going on? What up, Big Axe? What it do? What up to my nephews, Jew and Keith? What up to my son, MJ, who's out of town? Be careful, King. Slow down for a little bit. Hoping you're having a great day and things like that. Chill for a little bit. What's up to my son, Zion? Hey, man, keep going, young prince. Keep doing your thing. Keep handling your business. And to the ladies out there that always hold me down, what it do, Miss Lucille, Miss Valeria, Miss Valerie, Miss Mary Bell, what up, Miss Shelley, Miss Naomi, what up, Miss Ivy Silver, what's going on? What up, Miss Allie, Miss Daisy, and her boyfriend, Big One, what's up, Chapato, what it do? What it do, what it do. To all y'all out there. What up, Miss Brittany? What up, Miss Amber? Thank all of y'all for subscribing. Appreciate y'all to the fullest. I'm going to get right into it. P. Diddy trying to post $50 million bail ahead of the sentencing. Sean P. Diddy Combs' legal battles just took a dramatic turn. Despite hopes for release on bail, federal prosecutors insist that the hip-hop mogul must remain behind bars as he awaits sentencing, with new claims that his prison term could be substantially higher than initially estimated. Diddy's future and freedom is now hanging on the balance. In early July, Sean P. Diddy Combs was acquitted of serious racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges that could have carried life sentences. Well, we know that this trial really over the last 2 months or 8 to 10 weeks basically went into it one way, thinking that they was going to get P. Diddy on racketeering charges, but it was never no proof. Basically, all this trial that showed with P. Diddy was somewhat of prostitution, but even a little bit of sexual coercion and maybe a little bit of abuse, only with the video that came out with Cassie, and that was years ago when he was dragging her down the corridor in that hotel. But definitely, it was never really proved, as I seen, no racketeering charges or nothing like that. So, you know, this is crazy. I don't see why P. Diddy is not free, you know. Possibly his freedom will come sooner or later, because really he's in there on right now just because they have them little 2 lesser charges on it. But what he was actually arrested for and went to jail for, the charges was just like they never came up. They never held strong. They wasn't solid. Never did I see any time where P. Diddy racketeering or running a big, ring or prostitution ring or nothing like that. Now, P. Diddy is freaky, but a lot of them celebrities are freaky. Regular people are freaky. Who don't do that? And what other people do in the midst of the dark or behind closed doors, that's their business. And I know P. Diddy It's not, he's something else, he's abusive. He's not the best guy always around. He does some stuff that would be very immoral, and he has put his hands on women and things like that. And that's not right saying that. But he definitely, through the trial, it wasn't shown no racketeering or big sexual prostitution ring. However, he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution after arranging for girlfriends and male sex workers to travel for encounters he recorded. And that situation is really where Cassie, was the main figure in that. Again, she quarterbacked the whole deal. She really ran the whole situation. Cassie and that other sex worker, female Jane Doe, they coordinated, choreography, all of that. P. Diddy was just like a big old freak sitting back, behind the line, sitting back in the door, getting his jollies on, and, doing things like that, voyeurism and things that he participated in. But even on the situation with dealing with the freak house, Cassie would, set up the appointments. When the sex workers would get there, the male workers most time, Cassie would answer the door. Cassie would give instruction on how to do this and do that. Cassie really ran that. So if anybody you would say was in the strong arm or was the head finger or was just about the ringleader in conducting the freak house, it would have to be Miss Cassie. It would have to be Miss Cassandra Cassie Ventura, because again, she ran everything. And as I was seeing and hearing too, a lot of the sex workers that was involved in the freak house, especially when they came and met Diddy and Cassie at them hotels and appointments, they really was enjoying themselves. They got a lot of gratification out of being involved in the freak house. So again, that's all Diddy was about for. Again, no way is that man, as it was acquitted, I think justifiably, for not being the ringleader or heading a racketeering, because he never did it. He never was racketeering. It was never no RICO case, as the evidence came toward that the prosecutors tried to present and the defense objected on. Never did the evidence come that it was no RICO even, in operation with P. Diddy. Each count carries a potential sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Initially, prosecutors suggested that sentencing guidelines indicated a 4 to 5 year prison term. Well, that's a lot lesser than what he would have been facing with that racketeering, and I still don't think P. Diddy will get that much time. P. Diddy might get 4 years, but I'm still looking at how P. Diddy prosecutors are still working, tirelessly. P. Diddy possibly might be out of jail by 2026. I'm thinking that he might be incarcerated for the last half of this year, which we have about 4 months left. But I think possibly P. Diddy will be going home free in 2026. I just think, and even if he do any jail time, it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 years. Long story short, P. Diddy life is not over with. P. Diddy will be back a free man. However, prosecutors revealed in a Manhattan federal court filing on Thursday that they now believe that the sentencing guidelines will be substantially higher, signaling a signal that the possibility of a significant longer punishment. Well, we've been hearing that anyway. One day we hear the punishment is going to be higher, but then Mark Agnifilo, the head, P. Diddy's head defensive attorney, and his team then come back and found loopholes that in the case would suggest that Diddy might even get out, a little bit earlier. And you got to remember, Trump is still considering pardoning Diddy. So, President Donald Trump, which is coming, might be coming in the clear or might be transparent. So people, please don't forget that. which is going to be a big thing, I believe. I was just thinking, only thing Trump was waiting on, he wanted to make sure that Diddy got cleared of the racketeering in that RICO case, because I don't think you get too much give pardon to people with a RICO case. So once he got cleared of that, Trump is really considering, giving P Diddy a pardon, because Trump and Diddy were friends. They haven't spoken in years, but remember, Trump and Diddy was friends. I'm pretty sure Trump has been to some of Diddy's parties, maybe even participated in the freak house. I don't know. But I know President Donald Trump and Sean P. Diddy Combs are friends. They argued that the risk of flight has increased and opposed Diddy's renewed request for release on the $50 million bail before October the 3rd sentencing. However, Judge Sobranian denied that the request. Diddy has not met the standard of showing by clear and convincing evidence a lack of danger to any person or the community. Well, of course, Diddy trying to get out before that October 3rd sentencing, because then Diddy can work more with his defensive team, and they can possibly still find more things to get all charges dropped from Diddy. See, Diddy is trying not to do no time, and all charges are dropped. Because even if you go back to what he did to Cassie Ventura, back when he drug her down that corridor, when he was abusive to her, that's not what he was arrested for. So Diddy is trying to get out. I kind of don't blame him. I don't want to sit around and wait till October 3rd. Now I've been acquitted of the racketeering charges in the RICO. I'm trying to get out. I'm not trying to wait around for nothing. Time was of the essence. It's time to move. What am I still in here? Even though October the 3rd is coming, but you don't want to play it, this sit back and wait. Diddy is on the road now. Like I say, he got acquitted of the RICO charges, and his defensive team is finding more new things that possibly can even get these 2 counts where he's was convicted for and waiting on sentences. They working on that. So, hey man, I don't blame him. Move with great exuberance. And when you have the money that Diddy have, you should be moving. See, again, this is one thing I will know. If that was me or you, basic common civilians, it'd be a problem. But the rich don't take care of the rich. And that's what you see. No matter how much money Diddy has lost, because remember, Diddy is paying his lawyers a pretty penny. Any man that can post $50 million bail right then and there, he has a lot of money. He is paying lawyers a lot of money. So the lawyers got to put in that work. The lawyers got to work and find all kind of, possibly exits to get Diddy out, to get charges dropped on Diddy. Because Diddy is paying these lawyers a ransom, a lot of money. So they have to, come with their talents and use their expertise to the fullest. Still, the judge allowed Mark Anafilo, the P. Diddy's lead defense attorney, to revisit the request. Earlier this week, the defense filed, again citing severe conditions at the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy has been since the September arrest at a Manhattan motel. Well, I heard that is terrible conditions in there. Terrible conditions. And then let's keep it above, people. Diddy is a high profile celebrity. He's going to get treatment. He should get treatment. He should be looked at different than this regular civilian, because he's Sean P. Diddy Combs. He's a celebrity. He's well known worldwide. However you people like it or not. I know a lot of people disagree with what he did or what he be doing this in everyday life. I don't like a lot of things he's done. But the man is still a big time celebrity. He's high. He's a high profile. He's a big deal. So in saying that, he shouldn't be living under these severe conditions. He should be put in protected custody. I'm not saying he should be put in a raw cell, but he should get better treatment than that. And Diddy has been in there a long time, you know. Think about it. So it's going through a lot, but I just still think time will still come. Diddy definitely will not do maybe 2 to 3 years if he do that. I don't see him being in there no 5 years. Diddy possibly could be set free going home, you know, within a couple of months. But I think definitely at the beginning of 2026, Sean P. Diddy Combs will be a free man. He will go back home. And I think it's a possibility, even these charges that he is waiting for the sentencing October 3rd. They say they might be substantially higher one day from the prosecuting, but then the defense will turn around the next day and say they are still feeling cracks, you know, chink in the armor with what the defense is what the prosecutor is trying to propose, and give Diddy more of a stiffer, severe sentencing. And I just think that it's a possibility that Sean P. Diddy Combs, through all of this, when he first got arrested, is going to come out still smelling like a bed of roses. People, whether you like it or not, I could be wrong. P. Diddy trying to post $50 million bail ahead of his sentencing October 3rd. 2 cents, the podcast. I'm Nino.